Hey, welcome everybody to the Renny Doyle podcast. And today we've got something really fun. We've got some powerful women. Now, all these women got something in common is they both come to our training at El Mafia, and it's pretty cool. So we've got Diane's here with us, and we got a whole bunch will have introduced themselves, including Diane. And we're just really excited about bringing an all-female panel to all of you, because I think it gives us all a different perspective. So here's someone to throw you in front of the bus. You ready for this?
Me, you're going to throw under the bus?
I'm going to throw you in front of the bus.
All right, go for it.
So, what have you seen? We've always had women. Man, we've got a backlash somewhere. Somewhere there's a device on that is we can really hear it bad. Chris, you've been in the industry long enough. You've really seen the female presence jump up. What do you think it's doing or could do to the industry?
Well, I do think it's diversified the industry a little bit. So, probably not enough yet. I think there's more to be done in terms of getting more women involved. But I think it helps get the guys to step up their game, and not in terms of detailing skills, but just in terms of how they conduct themselves in the industry.
There you go. That's a great answer. Diane, I mean, we've been around a long time. I think they've taken the testosterone down a notch. In some cases, there's not enough of you females in the industry. But
honestly, I think that the ladies that we are seeing now have just brought a lot of class, and that was something that we didn't see before.
That's a good point.
The ladies that are coming in now, gorgeous ladies, but they're raising the bar and raising the class level.
Yeah, I think there's always sex sells, right? I mean, we know that, but there's a lot of TNA out there, and I just don't think it's necessary. You can be a beautiful woman like all of these women and be professional. So we kind of went a different direction. Sorry, ladies, because I just wanted to kind of start it off on that. I think ladies taking the testosterone out of it. I think that they've been able to, and I can't wait to hear some of the answers to the questions. But before we do that, let's go ahead, and this is be a beautiful woman like all of these women. Professional. So really direction. Sorry.
There we go. Sorry, that was something that went funny with Facebook over here.
Okay. So
hey, I'll try and avoid that from happening again. Real quick, while we're dealing with these little bit audio issues, ladies, if you don't mind, just mute yourselves on your end until you want to speak up and have something to say. I think that'll help solve our problem.
There we go. So let's go ahead and start with this. Now we're gonna randomly introduce people, but I'm gonna go with the person I've known the longest, and that's gonna be Diana. She came to us. Diana, when did you come to training? What year?
February of 2015. Good morning, Renny. Good morning, Diane. It's great seeing you guys. Great seeing everybody online.
So, we're going to just go ahead and start there. So, go ahead, and ladies, just one after another. Diana, you go ahead and start first, and we'll go right down the line.
All right. Thank you, Renny. So, I'm Diana Balboni. I'm the owner-operator of Into Details. I'm a one-woman shop. When you schedule a detail, you get me. Nobody else. I keep asking the guys, how much larger are you going to make these trucks? Because I'm only 5'4". So, scaffold is definitely my friend. So I've been in Virginia, Sterling, Virginia, just like the metal, Northern Virginia, outside of DC. A lot of stuff interesting happening here this time. Yeah. And finally, our weather's warming up. We're getting some people giving us some phone calls and giving us an opportunity. I've been in business 6 years, and just keep going with it. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
You bet. All right, from there, Sydney, you're next on the screen. So introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Sydni Gwinn, and I am from Boise, Idaho. I too am a sole operator. I own my own shop that's in my home, and I've been in business for 8 years. And I went through training with Renny a couple years ago. And as some of you may know, I'm also a brand rep for P&S Detail Products. And I love cars.
There you go.
And thank you guys for having us on. This is great.
You bet you. So Kelly, you're next on the screen. Go for it. Oh, no audio. You got to unmute yourself. Hey, you got to remember, it's 5 something in the morning in Hawaii, so it's a little early.
And I'm on an airplane tarmac.
Yeah.
I'm Kelly Mankin from Ake Professional Detailing. I've been detailing for almost 20 years, and I went to training in 2018 with Renny and Diane. And I really love, I particularly love aircraft and everything to do with it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Welcome. Jessica.
Hey guys, I'm Jessica Rook. I am with Final Approach Detailing. I own and operate the business with my husband, Travis Rook. We have just completed training actually a few months ago, back in January. We were the first group in 2021, but we're over here in the Lansing, Michigan area, just rocking it. Spring weather's coming and finally digging out of the snow and ready to take our business to the next level.
So you live in Michigan and you're digging out, and we live in
Yes.
California, and it's snowing. I mean, we're watching it through the windows right now. It is snowing. We're getting a spring storm in. So
We're going to hit 65 today, so I'm ready to throw on the shirts and get out there.
we're close. We're close. We're close. Well, thank you and welcome. So, Robyn, you're next on the screen.
Hey guys, good morning. Nice to see you, Renny and Diane.
Good to see
My
you.
name is Robyn Sweet, owner, operator, The Detail Lab, Chatham, New York. It's in upstate New York. Everybody's got spring fever here. We just broke to 50 degrees yesterday. Gonna do it for a couple more here. Sun is shining. I've been busy. I'm booked, and it is wonderful. I'm loving it. I love good-looking, shiny, clean cars.
There you go. Right on. Well, welcome. And then
Thanks.
Marcella, welcome.
Hey guys, it's good to see y'all.
Good to see you.
My name is Marcella Loza. I'm one half of East Coast Custom Detailings. I run it with my fiance, Chris Williams. He's part of the group as well. I started my journey with detailing at SEMA 2019, where I met Sydney, I met Kelly, I met Diane, and just how loving everybody was and supportive. I wanted to be part of that. So I went through training in August 2019, and my fiance was the intern then. And
Yeah,
I've fallen in love with it since.
Yeah, and all of you guys are just kick butt ladies, and there's a lot of ladies. I wish we could have got the whole industry. And what we decided to do is these are people that we've spent time with, ladies that we've spent time with. We know them, and there's so many great females that have come into the detailing industry, and so this is just a taste of the greatness. So with that, let's go ahead and one at a time. We're going to start backwards now. So Marcella, we're going to start with you. So, and then we're going to go right down. Same question for all of you.
Can I interrupt?
Oh, yeah.
I'd
Sorry.
love to say who it was.
Oh, yeah, I guess you should. Well, I'm used to just everybody knows who you
Well,
are.
when you said the person that you knew the longest, I thought that was going to be me. But
no, trained
now,
the longest.
no, you said the person I've known the longest.
Okay. Ah. She's the not only the interior Nazi, she's the husband beating Nazi. So go ahead. Everybody knows.
Diana, it was close. See?
Yeah,
It
it was.
I just kept thinking, well, maybe, okay.
I'm not used to
maybe.
having you here. Usually you're watching it. Jeez.
Well, I'm Diane Doyle. I'm the other half of Detailing Success. IDA, founding members, CD, SV, RT.
Probably the first female to ever use steamers in detailing.
Yeah, this is
I
true.
mean, back in the early days, it cost us a vacation because I went and bought the steamer and we couldn't go on our vacation.
Yeah.
So I wasn't a real big hero at the time, but it made us a lot of money. So so let's jump into it. So you were stuck with it. You didn't particularly like detailing when we first got together.
I love cars. I just
You weren't fond of detailing.
It wasn't what I envisioned myself doing. I had no idea, but got into it. Found I loved interiors. I love the paint. It frustrates me that it's immediately wrecked when you go outside, but that's okay. And I just, working with him, it's been a really a wonderful adventure. And I love teaching. I love working with the new people and the old, and just spreading that passion.
Yeah. So hey, ladies. So what's her number one term? Anybody know it?
Don't lean.
Don't lean. Don't lean.
Yeah, we gotta give you a shirt that says "Don't Lean." Who had the shirt? Marcella, was it you?
No,
It was Maria.
It was Maria. Yeah, that said "Don't Lean." Wow. So, detailing, you were stuck. So,
pretty much.
So now we'll go backwards. Marcella, you kind of got into it in a stuck position too, though. Kind of, right?
Yeah,
so
kind of, but I love it. It's okay.
Yeah. So why detailing, and then what have you enjoyed about it?
Well, honestly, I guess I wasn't that big into it in the beginning, but after going to SEMA and seeing how supportive and loving everybody was, like, I started asking Chris more questions and being more interested in it, and found out that I absolutely love interiors as well. Like, it's just a weird, calming thing to go in there and take care of it. So I fell in love with it then and started helping Chris out. And I told him, I was like, okay, well, I think I want to go through training. I want to go through and see what that side of it is about, and I want to learn more. And then from then, I can't stop learning more. Like, I just want to know all the things.
That's awesome. Truth be known, I love interiors too. If I had to choose one or the other for the rest of my life of what I was going to do, I love interiors. I don't know why. I always have. So, Robyn, you're up next. So why detail?
All right. So my thing is, I love the before and afters, and I love providing the client with a sense of love for their vehicle. Once again, like giving them a brand new vehicle again. And I missed at my 911 job, I missed having that before and after, and kind of that sense of ownership when you've done a good job. Not something we get too much there. So giving a vehicle back to a client and they're just, smiling ear to ear about it and say, this is better than it was new. I love that feeling, and that does a lot for me. And building trust with my clients is a big aspect. So that's why I picked detailing. And again, I love those shiny vehicles.
That's awesome. So Jessica, let's go and ask the same question.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in the auto industry. My dad was a specialized mechanic, and we grew up getting all of the car shows vehicles ready on Friday night so that they could head out for the weekend. On top of that, when I met my husband, he's a pilot, we had our first business adventure was owning aircraft. We leased back aircraft through a flight school and fell in love with detailing aircraft at that point. All of that was really personal to us. But in 2017, we were presented with a situation in our family with my husband going through medical issues and being diagnosed with cancer. And I had spent 15 years prior building businesses from the ground up and really leading the way in business. So we came together and decided what's something that we love, we both love doing, and that was detailing, and what is something that we can do and I can lead a business. So that's kind of where it all came together for us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Diana.
There we go. So detailing kind of found me, I think. Mine was kind of interesting. I went to a financial advisor in 2013. Into 2013, he told me I could retire from my day job, which does work for the government. And I didn't understand how that could be because I had 10 years in, but I also hit the minimum retirement age. So that helped. And he said, so what do you want to do? I said, oh, you mean when I grow up? He said, yes, I want to detail cars. And literally it was out of my mouth before the brain age. And I think for me, it came back, just as Robyn was saying, that sense of completion. I was working contracts with the government, and there's no end to a contract. They always say you're one modification away from the perfect contract. So there was no completion, no finality. And I'm a finisher. I like to finish whatever I began. So, and I also had seen a guy, I sold cars in Southern California, Lancaster, California, in 1979 and 80. Actually, it's 81. And the guy coming out from the back detailing cars was the one who I kind of take a car that he had and just restore it, make it new. And I love that. And I think it just stayed with me all my life.
That's cool. That's cool. Sydney.
Yeah. So again, detailing just kind of found me, but I've always grown up around cars, loved cars. I was a trophy girl at a racetrack for several years. And the only reason I wanted to do that was just to be in the pits near the cars. It's always been all cars. So I worked in the dental field for 10 years prior to opening my detail business. And that's kind of a long story, but it literally just happened upon me. And my love of cars allowed me to learn very quickly. And then just my attention to detail, it was a great fit. And so it just worked out. And I too I think my favorite part about detailing for me is whatever I start with in the beginning of the day, it ends. And so I look at, corporate professionals around me, and they've got these huge projects that they're working on for weeks and weeks. And, they come home with that on their mind. And so I love that I start and finish every day, and every day is new. I love that.
That's awesome. And then Kelly and I just, we were over in Hawaii, and we got to sit and chat. And I loved her story. I've heard it, one of these days we're going to have to tell the long version of it, Kelly. But why detailing?
Detailing, I was in restaurants for, decades before I found detailing, and I started out working for somebody else. But honestly, the detailing came with my lifestyle change to get sober and to choose a different lifestyle. And so and it is about that instant gratification of the transformation of the vehicle. I've always loved cars. I'm learning to be a pilot, all that kind of stuff. But I'm an aircraft enthusiast. But really, with my lifestyle change, my hyper focus in my life kind of transferred into doing detailing, and I had a proclivity for it, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoy the before and after, and I really love transforming paint and rejuvenating it, and the clients, having that relationship with the clients and having that them fall in love with their vehicles again. It's just the leveling up of the energy and with the clients and with the transforming something. I really love that.
Yeah, I think that's universal, right? So Diane, you kind of, you met me, I was into detailing, but then why detailing?
Like it just kind of happened. We had a business that I was running, and it was 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it had just grown bigger than what we wanted. And so we sold that, and yours had grown so huge that, it was just an easy slide in to support and help you.
You just nailed something. A lot of people complain about how hard detailing is. And we had a company that was in the executive transportation side of things, and we did executive protection. Detailing is easy because that industry, I came home one day and I said, we got to sell it. It was so demanding. And so I wish more people appreciated just really what detailing is, because you just nailed it. And a couple of you nailed it, is that it's an off switch. Executives come home and we've both had something going on in our weekend gig lately, and you can't turn that shit off. It just doesn't turn off. And detailing is a lot easier to turn off.
I like the instant gratification of it. A pig comes through the door and out it goes, just, with new life, and seeing how happy the people are, with everything going on in the world, people are, upkeeping their stuff a little better, and to see them look so happy and have it be a new car for them, and just seeing their faces, it's just the coolest thing.
That's awesome. So I'm going to go right. The next question, ladies, I'm going to start with Diane, because she's got the ability, she sees and talks to you guys a little bit, but there's a lot of specific challenges in detailing that it kind of throws out to all of us, male, female, doesn't matter. But I think that there's a few of those little challenges that females have figured out a little better than their male counterparts. So is there anything that stands out with you that just kind of pops?
A couple of things. With females, a lot of our clients are female, and females are so used to going into the mechanic or to the, whatever, and being treated differently because we're females, like we don't know what we're talking about or whatever. And so, it's interesting for me to watch our female clients because there's already that instant rapport, there's that trust, that comfort level, and it's not an ego thing. And I think that's probably the hugest part of it. And then, the other thing would probably, I would say, the challenge, a lot of the females had was, the gals out there, selling the sexual, showing your, exactly right. And so I think that we've overcome that. And now the new females coming in don't feel like that's how they have to present themselves. And so that challenge, was there. And, in the last few years, I've been so excited to see these beautiful women, being respected for their talents, not what they hatched with.
That's cool. So, hey, Kelly, we're gonna go back to you on this one. So, same question.
Oh, sorry. Well, I think Diane kind of hit it. I think women have it's funny now that I've been in it for a while, and I struggled with that that tension or the sexual tension and the TNA, and now I think it's women are being known for what they're doing instead of being great women detailers, they're being known as great detailers, period. I think I think there's a lot. One would think it would be opposite, but I think there's less drama. I mean, the women really band together, and I really love that. I love that there's not a lot of there's not a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and the guys can kind of get into that gossipy, like they're worse than we are, I swear. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of support and lifting each other up and banding together, and there's a little more competition on the male end.
That's awesome. Another great point. So Sydney, we'll go to you on this one.
Yeah. So I think that one thing that I've noticed women do really well is kind of goes back to the building relationships with the customers. I just noticed that I have a way different relationship, and I think that and that makes a big part of running the business so much easier, just when it comes to getting personal referrals, and then huge on the education side. I've been in other shops and tried to watch, men have dialogue with their customers, and it's like they're afraid to educate them. Like they don't want to share what they should do to take care of it. Almost, it's kind of weird. And so I spend a ton of time educating my customers, which builds a really strong foundation and a relationship that I don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like my customers, my retention rate is, very, very high, and getting referrals is so easy. And so I think it's just that talking to them and relationships with the customers, they really respond to women. And I've had a lot of them actually pull me aside and say, hey, I want to explain my difference with another detail shop versus you. And I've always thought that was really cool that they're willing to share that, and that they actually identify that there's a difference. And I think that's really cool. And I do think that maybe men could learn from that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Diana.
Well, I think that just as Sydney was just saying, I do believe that it is building that relationship with customers. And I think we have, as women and detailers that are experienced and have the knowledge and the experience, that we do educate our customers more so than what maybe some of the guys do. It's not a competition. In other words, it's not a competition with that customer, I think, to be one up and go, yeah, okay, I do know this or whatever, because many of the customers that I have, I do have a nice base of women who do come to me strictly because I am a woman and they want me, and I advertise that woman-owned business, female detailer as hashtags, because I think women are looking for that. They strictly go out and go, gee, I'm not going to have that issue that I've had before. And then with the guys, I've noticed the same thing. They're looking and going, hey, and sometimes I think you'll get someone who wants to test you, that wants to test your knowledge, and you literally have to be prepared for it. So do we have to maybe have a little bit more education and learning? Sure. But that doesn't mean then that you've got to butt heads with them. That means you give that information that you want to give. I love it. I think that no matter what it is that you're doing in life, you have to treat everyone as your customer, so that what you do is you learn to build a relationship.
No, it's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. I think that's that for me has been one of my I guess even bigger realizations of things and what we can do best, because we love to talk. At least I do.
Well, with that, Diane and I have always taken aim. We did Diane did a lot of it. Even let's go back to my window tinting company. I owned a window tinting company, way back when I was, young, before I met Diane. And my mom worked in the office and answered the phones. And that female, her charismatic, Diane's charismatic. All of you on the call now, I think your ways about you is just it's magical. And so when Diane came to the company, we always had an above average, the balance of male to female was always higher female, and they're just females that are typically more they're more approachable and they're more loyal as customers, so it's funny that you guys say that. So Jessica, let's go to you next.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I mean, we see both sides of it. I, like the lady said, have women that specifically scout women-led businesses. I'm part of a women's networking group on Facebook that I'm tagged daily, regularly, for people that are just looking for a woman-owned business that can get their car cleaned up for them. And I think that does establish just a level of rapport, trust, accountability right up front. I also get the phone calls from the guys that, oh, well, I talked to a guy on the phone the other day. Well, it's my husband. He doesn't answer the phone. So that's me, right? Or the, gentleman that will call and say, I want to talk to somebody about ceramic coating, or is there a guy that I can talk to about ceramic coating? Well, actually, that's me. I'd be happy to talk that over with you. What are you looking at today? We knock that down right away. And like the lady said, it's not a competition at that point. It's just, you know what, the rest of it a misunderstanding. That's actually me. I would love to take care of you. How can we get you set up? And I think that as soon as you kind of knock that down with a gentleman, they're like, oh, okay, that I'm talking to the right person here, and they can really move forward from that. So I think that just we have a way to develop that relationship that is very unique without the feelings and the emotions and the testosterone and whatever you want to call it that can kind of convolute it once you're approached that way to begin with.
I like it. Robyn.
Yeah.
Let's see. There she is.
Here I am. I'm having technical difficulties here.
It's okay. We can hear you. That's the main part.
Good.
So question again, that same question. What's some challenges in space? And I think things are going to fit a little bit.
So I think I'm right in line with like Sydney. Can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha.
All right, there we go. I'm right in line with Sydney and everyone else that was kind of touching on the client base and, just building that relationship. Sydney uses something she likes to call it like spa day for the cars. And women really relate to that kind of stuff. They love that. And when you remember them and you know why they called and what car they drive, and you can have that conversation and make a connection with them, they love that. They'll keep coming back to you. Referrals are a huge part of my business. That's really where I'm at. And I'm just like Sydney, it's easy to get business that way. It's word of mouth, and those clients keep coming back to you. And when you have a connection with somebody, they're going to tell 10 of their friends. you know, and that's really what's been working out well for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then Marcella. Same question.
Marcella's
Can you hear
frozen.
me?
There's
We got you.
All right.
So
Well, for me, a lot of it, I try to educate people. I don't try to like tell them that I know more than them. I just kind of try to be like, oh, well, hey, if you do this, this helps it this way. And it makes people feel more comfortable talking to me. I know a lot of the time, a lot of my friends that are women, they'll come to me and ask me questions before they go ask their husband, before I say, hey, maybe if you ask Chris, they'll be like, no, well, can you tell me? Because when you explain it, it's different than them just throwing these terms at me. And it's really helped us a lot with kind of being on the same level as our customers and not being too, like, I know more or that kind of attitude, but it's helped me a lot with being like, okay, well, I can explain this to you and know that you're not gonna feel like I'm overstepping anything and making you feel like you're part of my family.
Gotcha. I like it. So Marcella, stay on because we're going to start this next question with you and then go work our way backwards again is, what are customers' reactions to you guys? Do you have any funny reactions, positive reactions of you being, females in this male-dominated industry?
Our customers love it. We are with the Aiken Driving Academy, and the gentleman that owns it, gets so excited every time I show up. He's like, all right, let's do this. Marcy's here. And he gets so hyped that I'm there helping Chris. And he's just like, this is so cool that you guys are working together. You guys are like, he's working on one, you're working on the other. He never refers to me as like the female counterpart. He's just like, oh, cool. It's the smaller one that can fit and get into the nooks and crannies of everything.
That's funny, man. So Diane, this will be interesting, your perspective on this too, because you not only get, the early days reaction of what people had, because Diane was neck deep involved in our company back when there were very few females even involved in detailing. And so what have kind of been some of the funny reactions,
Well, it's the, they, once they realize not the it's that learning curve of, getting them to understand that you actually do know what you're talking about. And it comes to the point of, we really have to know our stuff and, be educated because, there is a little bit of testing going on, but then once they realize that you know more than they do, it definitely evens the playing field.
That's awesome. Robyn, same question.
I haven't run into anybody that is offended by it, honestly. If anything, it's everybody enjoys it. Everybody thinks, kind of rocking it out as a woman, and they're proud of you for being a woman and being in the industry. So I have not run into any awkwardness with it.
That's awesome. So it's been the opposite. It's been supported. Have they really even made a stink about it at all?
No, not at all. Nope, I don't hear any griping.
See, that to me, that means that we're really hitting where we need to be. That's pretty amazing. So Jessica, same question.
Yeah, I think that we have a unique setting in that, we're a husband and wife team. So we're naturally competitive people. And I think that actually ends up coming out in our detailing too. Renny, Diane, you guys saw it in training even. I trained with 3 other amazing gentlemen, one being my husband, and I came out the she beast, right?
Yep, that's exactly
we just
it.
have a certain touch and a certain way that we go about things that is unique. And I think that people like seeing that. They like to see it go back and forth, and they like to, especially with paint correction. We had a consult that we just did a couple test spots the other day, and we turned it into a little competition of who could jewel it the best. And of course I won, but they really like seeing that.
Well, it makes work fun too.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Diana, same question.
So I've not ever had anybody question me that was somebody that contacted me, but I like to give out, I call it kind of like a 1-a-day vitamin. I like to give out a business card, at least one person a day, somebody new. And, I'll hand it over and I'll introduce myself and I'll say, here's my card. You know anybody, you yourself need a detail. And usually the guys are like, whoa, okay. And I'll get that every now and then. Yesterday I went to the bank, new guy, new teller, hadn't seen him, passed over my business information. And he's like, wow, love the hustle. Because I had made the comment, I said, well, what do you got? He's going, oh, well, I've got a Honda Civic, but I've got, really bad spots on the fender, ran into something, maybe I don't have to have it repainted. I said, oh, let me go take a look. And he just kept saying, I love the hustle, love the hustle. So I think that's what's so surprising is when you hand that business card over and you introduce yourself and say, hey, I'm a detailer. Here you go, I'm a professional detailer. If you know anything, just, let me know if you got anybody. So that's the only time that I'll sometimes get the guys will go, oh, wow, okay. Or you go to a Cars and Coffee. That's usually where you'll get somebody who'll step back a moment instead of just, but then you get people that just was like, oh my goodness, you've got to be good. Because, women are always much better at it than the guys are. And it's really funny to hear that, when somebody, and you can get in, you can do this or you can do that. And do you ceramic coat? Sure, absolutely. Do you polish it? Absolutely. I'm not going to put your coating on unless I can, polish it. So I think that's where you again begin that relationship that we were talking about earlier. And I've not ever had a person that's called me second guess or give me any grief that I may not know what it is that I'm talking about.
That's awesome. That's it's pretty cool when I take notes as you guys are talking. And so, Sydney, same question.
Yeah. So I would say that early on, I had some interesting reactions, never anything that I would consider negative, especially from men. Have never had a negative reaction. I've had surprise and shock. I think sometimes, when I walk out or I would say early on, I think mostly now everybody knows that I'm female. I think early on when I was mainly dealing with new customers, maybe some of them didn't realize that I was female. And when I would walk out, I think I would get a little bit of a strange reaction. And then as soon as I'd start talking, I enjoyed more the shock on their face, like, oh, she knows what she was talking about. And but it was a good shock, and so I thought that was really cool. Same with women. I think that for the most part, but my only one negative reaction was actually from a woman. And it was kind of funny. And again, this was several years ago. I think things have changed in the last 5 years, but I remember I opened my garage door and walked out and she looked at me and kind of looked around, looking for my husband or looking for a man to walk out. And I was like, I kind of looked at her like, who are you looking for? And she was like, oh, are you the detailer? And I said, yes. And she's like, I thought you were just the scheduler. And so that's been the only thing that's ever happened to me in 8 years, which was kind of like, but it was all good. She was fine. But I do think it's come a long way, which I'm impressed with. So I think that's good. And I think that just that there's so many more women coming out. I don't think it's as, it's not as taboo as it was 8 years ago when I started. So I think that's great.
Chris had a funny story shared with me. He had the same reaction. Did you know that you and Chris have something in common? I didn't realize right now. Chris had really weird reactions when he was a trophy girl.
Yeah.
And,
I can see that. Yeah.
People just weren't used to it, sorry.
I've seen the picture. That's
exactly. Oh, that's
hair and everything.
That might be a kind of challenge, is we get Chris out as a trophy girl to give them away.
Yeah,
we love it, Chris. We just love it.
I'm gonna have to change industries now.
Yeah. And then Kelly, it's same question to you.
I think I got more reactions when I was first starting out because it was almost 20 years ago and it was really different then. But now, honestly, I get more reactions from women now. And really, I think I try, it's kind of the verbiage. I don't tell people I'm just a detailer anymore. I always use paint correction specialist, and it kind of elevates the kind of, it makes you seem like you really know what you're doing. And then you talk about different paints and, European seam clean and use those buzzwords. And there's more of a reaction to, you really know what you're talking about rather than focusing on that I'm a woman.
That's awesome. I love that. And then,
now you can tell everybody you detail private jets.
Yeah, look at behind you. I mean, that's see. So it, and as we
just came in and said, "I'm watching you."
Yeah, and how cool is it that as we've been on this call, the sun came up in Hawaii. You know, it's dedication. So hey, last question, and this one's a big one. Is in 2020, there were more new businesses started by people over the age of 60 in the history of America. So we've got new people coming into detailing that are teenagers all the way up into their 60s. We've got male, we got female, we got different ethnic backgrounds, different class backgrounds. We've got people now, it's kind of like the military, it's a melting pot. We've got people that are coming in from, they had money growing up. We have people that were but poor. So what would your message, somebody coming in, no matter where they're at in the stage of life or what sex they are, what is something that you would like to send to them? Something that you just one piece of advice that you'd love to give to them. And we're going to go ahead, Kelly, we're going to start with you again right now on that one.
I think that it's important in whatever you're doing that you have passion and that you love what you do. And I think as long as you are doing what you love, that translates. So really do what you're passionate about and enmesh yourself in it. And so you can elevate not only yourself, but the others around you.
I love it. Sydney, same question.
Okay, so I have a shop motto, so I'm actually going to share this because this is what my answer would be. So this might be backwards, but it says, work hard in silence, let success be your noise. So that's my advice. And kind of what that means is just, work hard and it'll be noticed. Your success, whether it's, as far as your family, your customers, all the way up to the industry, your success and your hard work that you put into it is going to be what, is your legacy.
Wow. Well said. Diana, your question to you.
I would say, if I had one piece of advice, is don't think you know it all. In other words, continue to learn, no matter what it is. Don't walk into a situation and think, yeah, I already know that. It's no big deal. Don't need to worry about that. It's just like, I guess, Renny, one of the things I'll always remember sitting at your desk when we first met, and you asked me, what are you afraid of? And I sat there and I said, burning paint. And you said, when you work with me, you're not going to burn paint. Because I'd seen it done on my own car. I saw it where somebody had gone too deep on a so-called paint correction. And the reason I bring that up is because I had always, cleaned my mother's car and washed and did all that stuff and thought that I knew something, and then realized I didn't know nothing. So it's one of those, until I trained with you, is that you just have to keep learning. There's always something different. The product's going to change, how to deal, technology is going to change. How we relate to customers is going to change. And not be afraid. I think I would have another piece of that, and that's like, not be afraid to talk to people. And I get concerned with younger people who are getting into positions, businesses, and they're afraid to talk to people. Yeah. You have to open it up. It's just not a text.
Yeah, a lot of text messaging going on. Jessica. Right.
Yeah, I think that, in our household, we know that life is short and it can change at any time. It happened to us. It's happened to us previously. And, with my husband's current health status, it could change again in the future. So I spent, a lot of years working up a career ladder and chasing that next dollar or that next, position title or whatever that next carrot was. And I didn't necessarily stop and enjoy the small things and find that passion. And to be honest with you, I was afraid to pursue that passion. I was scared. When you work your way up for so long, it feels like you're taking that step down to have all of the, faith and trust in yourself. And I think you can't be afraid of that. You can't live your life that way. I know that over the last few years for myself, I've really just had to be very conscious about changing that perspective and not being afraid to jump, because I may just learn to fly.
Yeah, Yeah, it's a big part of what we lecture in, even in the training sessions, 5 days. We talk about it every single day. You know, you don't know when your journey's going to end. And, you know, overworking just creates bad working habits. Because if you work smart and create those smart habits, you're going to be a lot more successful. So well said. Robyn.
Yeah. All right. So one of the things you mentioned, just that one word, ego. Don't let that get in the way. Be confident, be humble. You know, being invited to this podcast today was like super exciting, but I'm going to go back to detailing this car behind me today. You know, I'm going to go back and be just confident in my capabilities and just moving on, getting the next one in and out the door, keeping everybody happy.
I love it. I love it. And then Marcella. Marcy, you're up.
Okay, here we go. So I would say the biggest thing is to, like everybody touched on, kind of stay humble, but don't stop educating yourself. Always reach for just a little bit more because you don't know what you can grasp at.
And then I'm going to set Diane up with a little more. We're going to get a little raw here. Is that one piece of advice? You've seen me almost destroy myself by overworking. Don't do it. You know, simple as that. But, you know, what are the things you've seen me, the good things and the bad things, and both of us, you know, we've done things good. And we just hired an outside financial advisor. That was smart things, you know, being smart about it. But if you had to looking at this, you've got such an amazing picture because you see everybody that we train in the industry, but you see me. And it's an advantage of where I don't have.
My biggest thing watching and, you know, throughout the years is placing a value on yourself, your health, and your time. Because, you know, as an entrepreneur, you know, everybody thinks that you have to work 24/7 and, you know, put everything in. You came into this wanting to own your time, and your time is owning you. And so the biggest reason that everybody always gives is, you know, oh, I want to be my own boss. Well, you're not your own boss if you don't own your own time. And allowing yourself to feel that from yourself is just, it completely defeats the purpose.
That's why I wanted you to go last.
And I actually had my answer to this question, obviously, is that, but also my biggest thing that I could tell somebody is setting of expectations, because as far as, you know, what your client expects from you and what you expect, you guys both have to be on the same page. That's when bad reviews come. That's when misunderstandings come in. You just have to set those expectations. So own your own time, set expectations, and meet both of those and set boundaries.
Cool. That's it. So before we adjourn, Kelly's sitting here. She's trying to listen. She's out in the wind at the airport. But before we do this, is, you know, Robyn, I set you up when you were here in training. Is I got to hear that 911 voice come out. You know,
man.
I got to hear that 911. You know, for those who don't know, you know, Robyn in another life was a 911 dispatcher. Is a 911 dispatcher. So okay, ring. The phone's ringing.
911. What's the address of your emergency?
Oh, you didn't do it like that in training. You did it all. See? Oh, man. Well, hey, ladies, I mean, I look at the screen and, you know, some amazing professionals, even with Chris in there, beautiful ladies sitting there, you know. I need your guys' help finding a trophy, what do we call it, is a trophy girl outfit for Chris for SEMA. So I need your help finding me that trophy girl outfit for Chris, man. That's my goal for SEMA. So, ladies, thank you so much. For anybody watching this, I don't care who you are, is that stand up. It's professionals like this, and we've got so many amazing females that have come into our industry. This is just a tasting of what we've got these days, and it's amazing to see it come in. And they've brought such a new level of energy and professionalism to our industry, and I want to thank all of you for doing that. Kelly, we'll let you get back because I would say you're probably freezing, but it's probably, look at, she's in a long sleeve and it's probably 90 already. You know?
We don't feel bad, Kelly. We don't feel bad that you're in Hawaii.
I've got a
Hey, it's 72.
wow. We've got a
It's
customer.
33 here.
Yeah,
No thanks.
we can't feel bad for you. So, hey, everybody, you take care. God bless. Again, if you enjoyed the podcast, make sure to take in. We'd love for you to make a comment. We'd love for you to share it. And then also take in any subjects that you want to hear about. Make sure to send us over an email. You can send me an email at renny@detailingsuccess.com. And so if there's a subject that's heavy on your heart that you'd like to hear about, or somebody you think would be on the podcast, let us know. We'd love to get it in. So, Diane, I think that's it. I got to go make coffee and watch it snow a little more. And we'll talk to you all soon. Take care, everybody. Happy detailing.
Thanks, Renny.
Thank you.
Thanks, Renny.